So there's a point at which these bloggers get big enough that brands will start reaching out to them. But in the meantime, a lot of the process is probably going to be more on them to reach out to brands in order to make these deals happen, right? Before they're, really getting that exposure, they're needing to go out and find these deals themselves. Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about that process.
Yes. So that can start as people always ask, when can I reach out? Do I have to have a certain amount of followers on Instagram? Do I have to have a certain number of page views on my blog? And it really comes down to, do you know who your audience is? Do you know why they're coming to you and what the problem is that you are solving for them? Because that's what the brand cares about. They care about the people that are coming to you, that are listening to you. If you think about that influencer that maybe you see talking about their new spring idea for wearing the boots or shoes or whatever it might be, you're influenced by them to purchase those. And that's what a brand is looking for, because you are more likely to trust someone even with a smaller influence than you are with a very large following a lot of times. So the Kim Kardashians of the world isn't necessarily who we trust anymore. We trust the person that we see on Instagram in stories having conversations with us. And a lot of times they would be considered micro influencers. They could have 500 or more followers and be getting paid for those sponsorships, but they're getting paid to do it because that audience is the right fit. And I think that that's where influencers in the past had gotten kind of a bad stigma that came along with, oh, you're selling out when you work with a sponsor. When something says ad or it's sponsored, they don't truly believe in it. And in reality, the way that I teach influencers to go out and reach and try to work with brands is to think about the products and services that they're already using, so that they would naturally be talking about them anyways. And that's where that relationship normally starts. They'll reach out to that brand via email, start a conversation on social media, whatever it might be, and then just show how their audience is the right fit and can pitch them to put together a proposal that is going to be a good fit for both parties.
So what would that first message look like if you're saying to reach out about products that you use already? Is it generally reaching out and just, complimenting the product, and not even showing any signs that you're a potential micro influencer, or are you being a little bit more clear up front right from the get-go, who you are and what you're trying to accomplish?
I would say be right up front, right from the very beginning, because you have value if you have 500 followers. If you have 500,000 followers, you have, obviously you can charge more. But the value that you bring, if those are followers that are engaged and understand why that they are there and why they're following, then the value is there for that brand in order to pay you to work with them. A lot of times people say, oh, well, I get offered to do a review all the time. They're going to send me a $5 product and they want me to put it up on my Instagram stories and they want me to do a carousel photo about it. Well, that's your time and effort. This is your business. That's something you should charge for. So putting together, figuring out what would be the right pricing for that in order for it to be beneficial for you, for the time that you're going to put into it. And also then, of course, for the brand, that the brand is going to build the brand awareness with your audience is ideally what you're looking for.
So give me like an example message. If I was like a food blogger and I just tried this company's new tomato sauce and it was just incredible and I cooked with it already naturally. I'm like, I could totally make recipes around this, and they've got an Instagram I can see. What would be an example of how that message would sound from like a food influencer that's got like 15K messaging this pasta sauce company?
So with that, I would say your best bet is don't even go to necessarily start the conversation on Instagram unless you can't find an email. Find an email first, because the person monitoring the email account, or excuse me, the Instagram account may not be the right person you want to be talking to. A lot of times they're a little bit younger. They are, they move from company to company. They may oversee multiple social media accounts. So your best bet is to find an email address for that company. And then when you actually reach out to them, you want to show the influence that you have. So if you have 15,000 followers and you're doing a ton of reels that get a ton of engagement, I'm going to talk about that in the pitch. I'm going to talk about how my audience is the perfect fit because they're stay-at-home moms, or they're moms that are looking to quickly be able to create recipes where it uses the tomato sauce, and you have found that they're also paying attention to, let's say, the preservatives that go into that tomato sauce. And that was one of the reasons that you liked it. So you want to be able to share how your audience is the perfect fit for the brand, and also at the same time be able to share that you know what you're talking about when it comes to what they're looking for. So I'm not necessarily going to tell them, well, I'm going to use your tomato sauce and I am going to create these mini meatball appetizers that are going to be perfect for sliders. Because when you get that specific, it's too much for them. But if you can say, I'm going to use your, and be able to show the healthy ingredients that you use without preservatives in it because of your sauce, that's where they want you. So looking at their website, looking at their products, what do they talk about to really share and show that you've done your homework about that product and how it is a good fit for your audience.
So that first message, how long would you say that typically is? Email,
I always believe, should only be anywhere from, I would say, you're 3 paragraphs at the most. And when you say paragraphs, you're going, I'd say 3 to 5 paragraphs, and you're only doing 1 to 2 sentences in each paragraph. Still have, like you would write a normal email to a friend. So it's not, because they're probably first reading it on their phones as well. So making sure that there's space so that it doesn't seem too overwhelming to them. And the most important piece of it is to make sure you have a call to action. So saying to them at the end, I'd love to send you my media kit and a proposal for your review, would be the best next step that you can potentially have there.
Okay, so you're never saying your rates or price or anything like that in the first email. Is kind of where you draw the line of how much you're going to talk about your services.
Yes, because otherwise you don't know, if you send that first email with a rate, if they're turned off by the rate or they're turned off by you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you give them that call to action, send me your media, I'll send you my media kit and proposal if you're interested, that forces them to actually show action, that 1, they're interested in doing sponsorships, and 2, they're interested in you. They want to know more. There was something that you said that they want to know more about who your audience is and how you could potentially work together.